Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Like you've never heard it before. This story isn't told by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters. From the good and the bad and those in between. From soldiers on both sides of the Civil War. From warriors seeking honor. To mages seeking great power. To thieves seeking to get wealthy. To assassins seeking fear. And those who are cursed children of the night seeking justice. And those who were simply in the wrong place at the right time. Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, told to you by all of us that take part in it. We hope you enjoy. If you like these stories, chuck us a subscribe and your credit card number.
Hey, come on now, that's not in the script. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one.
Chapter 28. The Thieves Guild Part 3. The Nightingale. I was off to Mercer's place in Riften to find anything I could about where he would have gone, or what he was up to. I was given permission to kill anybody in my way, and I would. Nothing will stand in my way. Mercer will meet his end by my hands, I swear it. Nothing is going to stop me from ending that traitorous bastard. If you're going to betray me, you better well make sure I'm dead, because nothing will stop me from seeking vengeance. And nothing will stop me getting to the top. Anybody in my way will fall. I didn't suffer my entire life to be beat down like a dog. Mercer hired thugs to look after his house. None of them would stand in my way. I was here for information, and if they're to stand in the way of that, they die. We found a secret hideaway in his home, and the place was filled with traps. We'd find something down here leading us to where he's gone. I'd send Toriel back to inform the guild we had found something. Truth be told, I didn't want her to be killed in this place by Mercer's traps. I made my way to Mercer's hidden room. It had this bust of the Grey Fox, and gems and jewelry. There I found Mercer's plans. Something to do with the eyes of the Falmer. I found this nice ring that would no doubt help in my efforts to make gold. And this blade, it looked like it was made out of ice. The display case was cold to the touch. I needed to have this blade. It looks like it's worth a fortune.
We've scoured the town and I've spoken to every contact we have left. No sign of Mercer. Any luck on your end? Shore's beard. He's going after the eyes of the Falmer? That was Gallus's pet project. If he gets his hands on them, you can be certain he'll be gone for good and set up for life. Agreed. He's taken everything the guild has left, and to go after one of the last greatest heists is just an insult. I've spoken to Carlia and made amends for how the guild's treated her. Now she wishes to speak with both of us. Quickly. We have no time to lose.
Brynjolf, the time has come to decide Mercer's fate. Until a new guildmaster is chosen, the decision falls to you.
Aye, lass. And I've come to a decision. Mercer Frey tried to kill both of you. He betrayed the guild,
Talk to me?
murdered Gallus, and made us question our future. He needs to die.
We have to be very careful, Brynjolf. Mercer is a Nightingale. An agent of Nocturnal.
And it's all true. Everything I heard in the stories. The Nightingales, their allegiance to Nocturnal and the Twilight Sepulchre.
Yes. That's why we need to prepare ourselves and meet Mercer on equal footing. Just outside of Riften, beyond the southeast gate is a small path cut up the mountainside. At the end of that path is a clearing and an old standing stone. I'd ask you both to meet me there.
So Mercer was after precious stones called the Eyes of the Falmer. We agreed that Mercer needed to die, but Mercer was a Nightingale, an agent of the shadows. Carlia asked us to meet just outside Riften, to ready us for Mercer. I'll do whatever it takes to put an arrow through that bastard, no matter the cost.
I'm glad you're here. This is the headquarters of the Nightingales, cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind. We've come to seek the edge we need to defeat Mercer Frey. If you'll follow me, I'll try to explain on the way.
Carlia led us to the home of the Nightingales. I don't know much about them, that they are the agents of stealth, and they serve a Daedric prince called Nocturnal. I'm not a worshipper of any kind unless it's gold, but if this Daedra can help us kill one of her soldiers, then I'm all for it.
I can almost hear your brow furrowing.
I'm trying to understand why I'm here, lass. I'm no priest, and I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
This isn't about religion, Brynjolf. It's business. This is Nightingale Hall. You're the first of the uninitiated to set foot inside, within for a century. Now, if you'll both proceed to the armory to don your Nightingale armor, you can begin the oath.
This is enough to make your head spin, eh?
We were told to get our Nightingale armor. Was this going to help us? Was the armor that gave a Nightingale their gifts? Or was she recruiting us as Nightingales? The armor fit me perfectly. I felt like I was at my prime wearing this armor, like nobody could touch me.
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a Nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a Nightingale, that was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a Nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you please. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal? Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the circle.
She was recruiting us into the Nightingale Order. The price for the gifts we seek is our soul, but it's a price I'm willing to pay. Mercer will meet his end at my hands, at any cost.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Carlia. I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Carlia. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Carlia. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth and grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms. We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until the conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlia. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
Now that you've transacted the oath, it's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle to you. Mercer's true crime. Mercer was able to unlock the Guild's vault without 2 keys because of what he stole from the Twilight Sepulchre. The skeleton key. By doing this, he's compromised our ties to Nocturnal, and in essence, caused our luck to run dry. Well, yes, but the key isn't only restricted to physical barriers. All of us possess untapped abilities, the potential to wield great power securely sealed within our minds. Once you realize the key can access these traits, potential becomes limitless. Although it would benefit the guild more than you can imagine, in the end it would do more harm than good. If the key isn't returned to its lock in the Twilight Sepulchre, things will never be the same for the guild. As time passed, our luck would diminish to the point of non-existence, and whether you know it or not, our uncanny luck defines our trade. Very true. In our line of work, it's quite rare we set out to return a stolen item to its rightful owner. Before we depart, Brynjolf has some business to discuss. I suggest you listen to him.
Listen, lass. There's one last piece of business we need to settle before we go after Mercer. The leadership of the guild. Carlia and I had a long discussion before you arrived here. Thanks to your efforts, Mercer's treachery has been exposed. After we deal with him, all that remains is restoring the guild to its full strength. As a result, we both feel that you have the potential of replacing Mercer as leader of the Thieves Guild.
I've been at this game a long time, my friend. A long time. I've stolen trinkets from nobles and framed priests for murder. I'm good at what I do, maybe even one of the best, but it's all I know. I've never been one to lead. Never desired it, never cared for it. Don't want it. Well, we have a bit of an errand to run before your coronation, so don't get sentimental on me now.
Then it's decided. When this is all over and Delvin's contacts assure me that we've regained our footing in Skyrim, we'll handle the details. Until then, we have quite the task ahead. I've been poring over the plans you brought us, and I'm convinced the eyes of the Falmer are in the Dwarven ruins at Erkenthand. Carlia and I will meet you there. Prepare yourself, lass. This will be a fight to remember.
We were now pawns of a Daedric prince, and Brynjolf wanted me to be the new guild boss. I've not even been in the guild for a week, but somehow it feels like a lifetime. He believes me to be a natural-born leader. When Mercer is dead, I'll see what I can do. But until then, the only thing on my mind is putting Mercer down. Now that I'm a Nightingale, I can see better in the darkness. The shadows are now my ally. While the rest of the world sees darkness, I can see the rest of the world. They'll have no idea I'm there. I'll have no need to kill them and waste arrows and time. We're here to stop Mercer from taking the Eyes of the Falmer. These Eyes of the Falmer were made by the Snow Elven slaves, before they became the monsters they are now. Mercer won't take these from us either. It seems Mercer or the others have already been here and cleaned up the crew based here. I better be careful. I might be an agent of stealth now, but I've heard these Dwemer ruins are filled with traps and statues that move.
Mercer's been here. I hope we aren't too late. Brynjolf and I found them like that. Mercer's doing. We have to catch up to him before it's too late. We should tread carefully. I wouldn't be surprised if he's left behind a few surprises for us. Wait a moment. What's that? It's Mercer.
It was Mercer.
Look,
that son of a
down there.
bitch was toying with us.
I'm on it, lass.
Damn it, there's no way through.
He's toying with us. He wants us to follow.
Aye, lass, and we'll be ready for him. Let's keep moving.
The further we went, the deeper we went into the earth. Half the place had collapsed. Plus the place was filled with Falmer that would hunt you with sound or smell. For blind monsters, their other senses were great. They knew where you were by how loud you were or the smell. The moving statues. How would my arrows affect such a thing? How is such a thing even possible? Is it enchanted? The Dwemer created some crazy stuff. How do you even explain a place like this to those who live above? There is nothing else like it anywhere else. How do you explain how deep their ruins go? Or the pipes they have to cool down or heat their ruins? It's mind-boggling. We're getting closer to ending Mercer. This was where we saw him. I can almost smell the bastard. What in oblivion was that? A Dwemer spider? Metal spiders and men. What's next? We found the body of a man down here. Seems another braved these ruins. Looks like the Falmer got him. He was after the eyes of the Falmer just like us, but he didn't have our gifts or skills. The Falmer got him before he could take their eyes.
There's a mass of the Falmer in this chamber. We can sneak through or take them down. I don't care. As long as we get through.
Aye. Whatever you want to do, we're with you.
Who's that? You are no match for a Nightingale.
These Falmer even had bows. How could one shoot without seeing? Maybe they can see. Or see with their other senses.
Send you to your rest. And he hasn't seen us yet. Brynjolf, watch the door.
We found the son of a bitch. He doesn't know we're here yet, so I should just put an arrow in.
Carlia, when will you learn you can't get the drop on me?
What in oblivion? What was he doing now?
When Brynjolf brought you before me, I could feel a sudden shift in the wind. And at that moment, I knew it would end with one of us at the end of a blade. What's Carlia been filling your head with? Tales of thieves with honor? Oaths ripe with falsehoods and broken promises? Nocturnal doesn't care about you, the key, or anything having to do with the guild. Revenge, is it? You learn nothing from your time with us? When will you open your eyes and realize how little my actions differ from yours? Both of us lie, cheat, and steal to further our own end. It's clear you'll never see the skeleton key as I do, as an instrument of limitless wealth. Instead, you've chosen to fall over your own foolish code. Then the die is cast, and once again my blade will taste Nightingale blood. Carlia, I'll deal
I might be a
with you
thief, but I'm no backstabbing scamp. Now it's time to make this son of a bitch pay for betraying me, Carlia, and the guild. It all ends here. I couldn't see him, and he made Carlia and Brynjolf attack each other. And he did something to this cave. It was starting to collapse.
I'm sorry, I can't.
He made his final mistake. He came out of the shadows. It was time he met my arrow. It was finally over. Mercer was finally put down. But we had another problem. The door behind us was blocked, and the cave was filling with water. Did I come all this way for vengeance just to be drowned right after the reward? I got the eyes of the Falmer off his corpse, and the skeleton key. What good was this going to do us if we die here? Time was running out. The cave was filling with water fast, and there was no way out. I thought it was over. I couldn't touch the ground anymore. It was a panic. How close was death? There was only so much cave left before we would be under, before I heard a part of the cave tear off. It led to an exit, a way out.
Sorry, lass. I've got important things to do.
I can't believe it's over.
Speak another time.
25 years in exile, and just like that, it's done. All that remains is to ensure the safe return of the skeleton key. I'm afraid it's not that simple. When the skeleton key was stolen from the Twilight Sepulchre, our access to the inner sanctum was removed. The only way to bring it back will be through the Pilgrim's Path. It wasn't created for the Nightingales. It was created to test those who wish to serve Nocturnal in other ways. As a consequence, I have no knowledge of what you'll be facing. Brynjolf is needed back at the Thieves Guild to keep order while you're away. And I can't bear to face Nocturnal after my failure to protect the key. I'm afraid you'll have to face the end of your journey alone. Take this with you. I'm not certain if it will help within the walls of the Sepulchre, but I certainly don't need it as much as you. I've had this bow almost my entire life, and it's never let me down. I hope it brings you the same luck.
All was done. We killed Mercer, and took back the skeleton key and got the eyes of the Falmer. All that was left was to return the key back to the Twilight Sepulchre, but that would be a new challenge to face. Because once the skeleton key was stolen from the Twilight Sepulchre, it closed off our ties to Nocturnal and her gifts. We were also locked out. So I would have to take the Pilgrim's Path. The Pilgrim's Path was made for those who worship the Lady of Luck and Shadows, that it's made to test the faithful of Nocturnal. I'm no worshipper or one of the faithful. I'm more of an employee to Nocturnal.
I don't recognize you, but I sense that you're one of us. Who are you? The last of the Nightingale Sentinels, I'm afraid. I've defended the Sepulchre alone for what seems like an eternity. We were betrayed by one of our own kind. In fact, I'm to blame for what's happened here. I was blinded by dark treachery masquerading as friendship. Perhaps if I had been more vigilant, then Mercer Frey wouldn't have lured me to my fate and stolen the skeleton key. I haven't heard that name in a long time. How do you know of me? The key! You have the skeleton key! I never thought I'd see it again. And Mercer Frey? Then, it's over, and my death wasn't in vain. I owe you a great deal, Nightingale. You've done the Guild a great deal, and although they may not show it, I'm certain they appreciate your sacrifices. My only regret is that you had to undertake this task alone. Carlia? She's still alive? I feared she'd befallen the same fate. ending up a victim of Mercer's betrayal. Nothing would bring me more pride than to return the key, but I'm afraid it's impossible. From the moment I arrived here, I felt myself, well, dying. The sepulchre isn't merely a temple or a vault to house the key. Within these walls is the Elevenlabs, a conduit to Nocturnal's realm of Everglow. When Mercer stole the key, that conduit closed, severely limiting our ties to her. I'm afraid so. I'm weakening, and I can feel myself slipping away. The years without restoration of my power have taken their toll. Whatever damage has been caused can only be corrected by following the pilgrim's path to the Elevenlabs and replacing the key.
That sentinel was Gallus. He's been guarding the place since he was killed. He said all the others have turned bad, that they have lost their minds. That I'll find many different tests within the pilgrim's path, and this was one of them. I had to keep to the shadows, for the light was my enemy. I found a statue of Nocturnal, and below it a body of a dark elf that made it this far. But it seems he died here, thinking it was the end, not knowing there's always something hidden in the darkness. Old Nordic ruins are filled with hidden passages and traps guarding them. More so, old Nordic ruins built for Daedric worship. The test of her faithful. They had to be smart, cunning, and agile. If not, their bones serve as warnings to everyone that comes after. You need to be thinking ahead. Never rush. Never let your impatience get the better of you. If it's one thing Daedra love, it's playing around with mortals. And I wasn't going to be played with by some immortal. Even if this does amuse Nocturnal, I will come out on top. I didn't come this far to just roll over and die. My entire life has been me getting the crap kicked out of me. I will have the life I deserve, the life I fought for, no matter what. It wasn't called the Pilgrim's Path for no reason, but there was a sack of bones down there. I'll take the leap of faith, and if it doesn't work out, I'll end it all with an arrow. It turns out this sack of bones cheated and killed the person who helped him. He got down here and starved to death. I really hope I just didn't do the same stupid thing. I had a feeling that I needed to jump, that it would work out. But the more I stare at the ceiling, I don't know. What in oblivion was going on? The ground started to shake, and then I fell through the floor. Into some strange cavern. It had a keyhole in the middle of the room, one no doubt made for the skeleton key.
What do we have here? It's been a number of years since I've set foot on your world. Or perhaps it's been moments. One tends to lose track. So, once again, the key has been stolen, and a champion returns it to the sepulchre. Now that the Elevenlabs has been restored, you stand before me awaiting your accolades. A pat on your head, a kiss on your cheek. What you fail to realize is your actions were expected and represent nothing more than the fulfillment of your agreement. Don't mistake my tone for displeasure. After all, you've obediently performed your duties to the letter. But we both know this has little to do with honor and oaths and loyalty. It's about the reward, the prize. Fear not. You'll have your trinkets, your desire for power, your hunger for wealth. I bid you to drink deeply from the Elevenlabs mortal, for this is where the agent of Nocturnal is born. The oath has been struck, the die has been cast, and your fate awaits you in the Everglow. Farewell, Nightingale. save this time, won't you?
I'm glad you were able to bring the key back safely. Nocturnal seemed quite pleased with your efforts. I wouldn't take that to heart. It's her way. Think of her as a scolding mother continually pushing you harder to be successful, outwardly sounding angry, but silently content. I assure you, had she been displeased with you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Now, your life as a Nightingale begins. Should the need arise, you'll be summoned to the Sepulchre in order to defend it. The Guild has welcomed you back with open arms. I feel like a void in my life has finally been filled. I only hope that this isn't an ending to things, but actually the beginning. Why, perhaps the greatest crime spree Skyrim's ever known. There are pockets brimming with coin and coffers overflowing with riches ripe for the picking. We may be Nightingales, but in our hearts we're still thieves, and we're damn good at what we do.
I returned the key to its rightful place and met the Lady of Shadows herself. All that needed doing now was to return the Thieves Guild to its former glory, and that was going to be the hardest part of it all. In returning the key, I returned two lovers back together. It was kind of sweet that their love still remained after so much time of Gallus's death.
I was afraid you'd become like the others.
If it were not for the actions of this Nightingale, your fears would have come true. She honors us all.
What will you do now, my love?
Nocturnal calls me to the Everglow. My contract has been fulfilled.
Will I ever see you again?
When your debt to Nocturnal has been paid, we'll embrace once again.
Farewell, Gallus. Eyes open. Walk with the shadows.
Goodbye, Carlisle.
Our contract with Nocturnal has us return to this place after death to guard it. I'll have to live a good life before I end up here.
It's good to see you in one piece, lass. I just wanted to give you a proper thank you for everything you've done. The Guild is back on its feet again, and on its way to a prosperous future. What's become of the skeleton key? That's it then. After all those years of helplessly watching the Guild decline. But enough of that. I'm confident that with you in charge, we'll soon have more gold than we could possibly spend. I'll be down here, trying to coordinate everything with Delvin and Vex, to make sure the coin keeps flowing, and no one skims. If you still feel like doing some jobs, I'm sure Delvin and Vex have more than their fair share to give out. Either way, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Here's to the future of the Guild. May it last another 1,000 years.
If I'm to lead this place, I have to put in the work to rebuild the Guild. But first I must fix our position here in Riften. For so long, the Guild has only been able to target those here and make them hate us. For the Guild to succeed, we first must make the people of Riften our allies.
Now, I'm too lazy to go to get Tofa for this out view. Just want to get him out there finally. So Tofa's, pretty much thrown into the deep end pretty quick and becomes like the guild boss within a day or two. It's not really like, you'd expect. I don't really like that from Bethesda. Like, I wish there was always an option to go no and yes. But I think the best person for it probably could have been, get your tit out of the side of my screen. Probably could have been Delvin, or Vex. Especially Delvin. He would have been a good pick for guild boss. But whatever, Bethesda's chucked into the deep end of this one, and they make it boss. But what it is, the hardest part of the actual missions is actually the very end of the Thieves Guild. I didn't even know this was a thing for like 2 or 3 years after playing the game. But like the restoration of rebuilding the guild, they send you to all these places across Skyrim, the main holds, to gather allies for the Thieves Guild before eventually you reach your peak. And that's kind of the exciting bit I can do in the background for Tofa, and have like a little shortness of it, like a 11-minute video of her becoming an official boss. Because she's not the boss yet. That actually happens at the very end. When you do all the Thieves Guild miscellaneous quests to, you know, you're officially made the boss once you rebuild the Thieves Guild. And she'll play an important part in the future when it comes to the rest of the other guild characters, even that will follow the Dovahkiin. She will be one of them, because the Dovahkiin's path, my god. And the Thieves Guild boss, their paths actually cross. Same with the Mages Guild, the college character, their paths will cross too. But anyway, that's for another date. I hope you guys have enjoyed these three. And if you've got any comments, let me know on any of the videos. If you liked anything, dislike anything, you know, opinions are always good to share. Makes stories in the future a little bit better. Anyway, catch you later. Have a good one. And peace.